And we welcome you to the pregame show here on OSN. The Ottawa Senators back at home facing the Montreal Canadiens and Lever Sage. Tanner Ryle with you. Tanner, how are you?
Doing pretty good, Lee. Just crushed some chicken parm, and I'm ready for
it's a big,
JG Pajot style.
Well, you're gonna need it. I have dressed accordingly to what last night and today I think will bring for the Ottawa Senators.
Okay.
The death of the Ottawa Senators. I'm dressed in all black.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, Tanner's not feeling it. But as we go into this game, this is such a big game. We talk about it all the time, but tonight I kind of feel like if they don't win this hockey game, it's over. And I know that sounds dramatic from a point of view that they've played really, really well and they're due to lose a hockey game at some point. But
yeah,
man, oh man. Last night we talked about it, like they had to win against Vancouver and then kind of see what happened on the scoreboard. It was as bad a night on the scoreboard as you're going to find. Like it was just like the Kings tied it at 1 and you're like, okay, maybe Boston doesn't. Oh, they won in overtime. The Canadians, here come the Leafs. They got a goal back. No, they don't get there either. The Blue Jackets blow out the Tampa Bay Lightning. Even games like the New York Islanders. All right, they're down 3-0. They're going to lose in St. Louis for sure. Oh, no, they find a way. Even the Penguins last night got 2 goals in the last minute and a half to tie the game against Carolina. They lost in a shootout, but they got a point that I don't think a lot of people were prepared for. Tanner, my point being is that everybody got points last night, and Ottawa could just ill afford it.
Well, not everyone.
Okay, not Detroit.
Detroit, who had a lead with, I think it was a minute and a half left before blowing it to the Florida Panthers and allowing another goal to lose in regulation.
Yeah, and Carter Verhaeghe with both of those goals in the last minute and a half.
And that's also a Detroit who has a starting goaltender that's played well this year, but is clearly fighting something and has missed some time. Dylan Larkin, their number 1 center, their captain, probably their best player. You could argue, Sider or Raymond, but Larkin's a pretty big part of that team. He's out right now. And they also lost their number 2 center, Andrew Copp. And they are playing the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Dallas Stars in their next 2 games.
The 4-6 in their last 10 Tampa Bay Lightning. That team? The team that gives up 8 goals against Buffalo, the team that gives up 5 against Columbus. That team? That one?
How's Detroit in their last 10, Lee?
Oh, now they're frauds. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. And
I'm not calling them frauds. I'm just saying I don't think they're as untouchable as we thought they were.
You might as well poke your head in at this point. Like literally just walked in the door.
Get on the mic. Get on
the mic. Let's be careful with get on the mic stuff. Like don't need that. Just the whole point about being frauds. Hello.
I didn't say the frauds word.
Benjamin Subli. Yeah, I know. But Benjamin Subli joining us here on the pregame show. Of course, he just walked in just as we were starting and really wasn't expected here. And you know what? This is what this setup is, right? Walk in and just be a star.
The star.
Yeah. Well, next to me,
you're
a hell of a star. I can tell you that. I'm wearing all black because stop it, Tanner. Stop it. Proto star, he said. I'm wearing all black because last night and tonight's going to be the death of the Ottawa Senators. I see you're in black as well.
No, I'm dressed for a funeral, but it's the Habs funeral.
Yes.
They are getting hammered tonight. Just like I said, that the other fraud teams are going to drop off. They're dropping off. The Detroits, the Montreals.
You missed Tanner's Detroit. Yeah, they're Montreal, who came back and beat the LA Kings.
It's the LA Kings. They're coached by DJ Smith. Come on. Fraud alert. Where's the alarm? Sound the alarm. Fraud alert.
LA Kings aren't even in a playoff spot. I don't know if I don't know if you can call them frauds. They're just not good.
No, he's calling Montreal frauds.
Yeah, the
The-
Habs are frauds.
Yes, the team that's lost once in regulation in their last 10 games.
How many has Ottawa lost in their last 12?
Yeah, but that's not, you're talking about Montreal. You are calling them frauds.
Yeah, but that's the team Ottawa has to catch.
I don't think it's Montreal, Ben. I think it's Detroit.
There's
I
three
know.
teams.
Yeah, there's 3 teams.
There's 3
I'm
teams.
just-
You gotta knock somebody off the mountain.
Yes, and tonight might be their only chance to knock anybody off the mountain because they don't play Boston again. And after tonight, they don't play Montreal again.
Perfect.
But I was saying, yeah, Detroit, they're without Larkin. They're without Kopp. That's their top 2 centers. John Gibson's dealing with something, and they play Tampa and Dallas in their next 2 games.
Yeah.
It could get real interesting.
Ottawa does not have Jake Sanderson in the lineup for the next couple of weeks. And they're going to start to play teams that are better than the Vancouver Canucks with James Reimer in net.
Commitment to
Right.
team defense and structure will pull through.
Versus relying on a power play and a hot goaltender.
So I'm just going to tell you guys that tonight is a very, very difficult game. I do know that the Ottawa Senators did not fly on the red eye home. They came home yesterday afternoon. They were delayed. They spent all day traveling yesterday. Montreal had a fairly easy time with the Toronto Maple Leafs. And it does. Do we have a Cole Caulfield update?
As of now, game time decision is the latest that I've seen. Last night, he played only 10:27 in their game. He's dealing with an illness. He was skating around a little bit, but wasn't feeling too hot. So there's a chance he won't play. And then also recalled today was Jacob Fowler from the Laval Rocket, who was getting the starting goal for the Montreal Canadiens.
Ottawa is facing a lot of backup goalies. Now, you can only play who you play. That's good for them, for sure.
That's great. Take the free spot on the bingo card.
Zach firing at Ethan. Never miss a pregamer. This is Overtime Show by hitting the subscribe button.
Yeah, look at this guy. Good job not telling me the pregame started, Tanner. I ate dinner and then I hopped on. That's not my job, man. You still found your way here. And if you haven't hit that notification bell yet, Ethan, I don't know what you're doing, man.
Ben Sublier, James over here.
Jones?
Jones, you mean?
Oh, Jones over here. Sorry. I'm still trying to figure out who James was the other night.
Yeah, just walking into the show. That's what I'm going to be doing when we're live this weekend.
That's right.
Yeah. He's got to come in with the hot tag.
Well, I think we figured out that Sunday night's going to be here, Tanner.
I was
Just,
told.
Yeah. If
Yep,
you're all
so-
listening, and you want to come, you can't. You're not
Yeah,
invited.
screw you.
Okay, so over from 2012 to 2022, and I know that that's not today. I get that, but it is over a 10-year period. NHL teams that played 3 games or more on the road that came home to play their first game won 37% of the time. Now,
So you're telling me there's a chance.
well, of course there's a chance, and they better be hyped up because it's the Montreal Canadiens. But I'm just saying, with a lot of travel, with a little bit of difficulty yesterday, coming home from the trip and having to face a much higher paced Montreal Canadiens team than some of the teams that they faced out west, that this is going to be a difficult game. They don't have Jake Sanderson. I did read that Linus Ullmark can become the quickest goalie or have the most amount of wins in his first 80 starts as an Ottawa Senator goaltender of all time if he wins tonight.
Wow.
How about that?
That's only because Dominic Hasek didn't play 80 something
Well, yes,
games.
but Patrick O'Leary came in and wasn't
He was backup for a little bit.
wasn't a star at the
Yeah.
beginning, and Craig Anderson came into a bad team before they got a little bit better. But still, it's incredible to say that Linus Ullmark in the first 80 games that he would play would have the most wins of any Ottawa Senators goaltender of all time. He passed Ray Emery, actually, which is
okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Right,
Because
'cause
Emery quickly became your number one after
Yeah.
only a little bit as the backup.
Yeah,
and
and he was
came into a
playing.
really
Yeah, he was playing behind probably the best team in franchise history.
Yeah.
exactly. It's like just go out there. It's like James Reimer. I got a shutout last night, like against Vancouver 2 nights ago. But yeah, he didn't really have to do a whole lot.
Just ignore those playoff losses.
So the Senators' chances still sit, depending on where you go in some of the prognostications or playoff possibilities, they sit somewhere between 30 and 40%. So it is.
I thought I saw 46% yesterday. Did it drop down?
Well, if you saw it yesterday, all the games that you missed, all of the teams that came back and got points yesterday.
Didn't Detroit lose?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Islanders came back and won.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, see, it does matter. You can't just say that.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, somebody's got to drop off. It's going to be those Detroit Red Wings and those Boston Bruins.
Okay, I'm telling you, it's between 30 and 40%. So
I don't know that those Bruins are falling back.
Ethan coming in and saying Money Puck has them at 57%.
Hey. First of all, we don't read.
Let's check the stat line before we make declarations here.
I'm pulling up Money Puck.
No, I went to Money Puck, and Money Puck is always 10 to 15% higher than any other prognostication. So if you'd like it, first of all, don't read anything on the screen until I bring it up, because that's not allowed. You're committing a lot of fouls here early, Ben.
I got you, Ben. It's on the screen now. You can talk about it.
Oh, Tanner, you are not helping. You're getting under my skin a little bit, okay? But I will bring them up, and I will show you from Hockey Reference that does
Hockey Reference looks like it was created by somebody on HF boards. Let's be real.
Okay. See, every time I actually put things in front of you to prove the point, playoffstatus.com.
Playoffstatus.com looks like it was made on a Windows 98.
Okay, all right. Tanner, there's no point in actually trying to prove, because Money Puck says so, then every other thing that I've gone to is 31%, 38%, 36%. But Money Puck, who's always 10 to 15% higher than all of these prognostications. Let's go with that one, because it fits your mold a little bit.
You can still look at Money Puck, and yeah, they've got the Senators. I'm seeing 55.8%. But you know who's higher than the Senators? The Columbus Blue Jackets, the Boston Bruins, the Detroit Red Wings, the Montreal Canadiens. There's only so many playoff spots. So
okay, so actually I want you, because Ben and Ethan, the smartest guys on the planet here, read all of the Bostons, read the playoff probabilities on Money Puck for all of those teams.
Okay, so the teams that are kind of in this race right now, the highest is the Senators' opponent tonight, the Montreal Canadiens, who have an 85.5% chance to make the playoffs. For Money Puck.
Not. Okay.
The Detroit Red Wings.
Shake your head.
Lee's already regretting this.
The Detroit Fraud Wings are up next, and they've got a 67.7% chance.
Okay.
Slightly below them is the Bruins with 65.8%. And above Ottawa are the Columbus Blue Jackets with a 61.4%.
Who do they have missing the playoffs if all of those teams are going to make it?
Well, they don't, because you still have the 33% chance that the team doesn't. So somebody's going to swing out, is what they're predicting. So the way they've got it, I believe the way their math checks out is your expected wins over the course of the rest of the season versus your opponents and how many points are available. Up to 3 points in a 3-point game.
Can we go with Hockey Reference, which is a lot more of a distinguished website, Hockey Reference that tons of people go to every day, has the Ottawa Senators at 30. Sorry, my eyes are bad. 38.7. Yes, 38.7% with 1,000 simulations.
Yeah, still 1-3. Just. Believe me, one of those teams is dropping out. Is it Columbus that's going to get in there? Maybe. But
Boston has 13 in a row at home. They've won.
Aren't they terrible at home? Isn't that their thing? That they're really bad at home but good on the road?
Boston?
Yeah.
No.
Boston has won 13 games in a row at home.
And they have 13 games left?
No. They are on a 13-game home win streak.
I thought maybe I'm crazy. I thought they started the season terrible at home.
But you're not listening to me.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, guys, Ottawa's in the top 4 of the NHL power rankings, though. There we go.
Which power ranking? I actually want to draw my ire more than what we already talk about power rankings.
They actually somebody had the Sens at a 6% chance of winning the Stanley Cup, which was like the second highest percentage in the East. So if they make it based on their
they're going to be a hard out if they get in, but I can't see how you put them over either Carolina or Tampa Bay.
Okay, so let's get back to the task at hand here tonight. By the way, Boston is on a 13-game home win streak. They have not lost at home in 2 months. So just to let you know that that's a tough team. That's a good team. That's a team you're trying to catch. They just win games. when the Montreal Canadiens come in tonight, if they don't have Cole Caulfield and they're going with Jacob Fowler in net, for me, that does balance out some. Like, I think Ottawa comes in with a little bit less of a chance to beat Montreal tonight. But those two things, if they happen, certainly balance the scales.
The Jake Sanderson factor, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, this game's a tough game coming home on the road. They don't face a lot of, when we saw them face a fast team with Jake Sanderson in the lineup, they gave up 5 goals to the Edmonton Oilers. So this is still a team that is really sound defensively, but with some of the faster teams, they have a bit more difficulty. And with no Jake Sanderson, what are you looking for tonight, Tanner, as far as like going into this game? Like, is it Shabbat again?
I think it's going to be a collective. I think you're hoping that Caulfield doesn't play because that'll even things out a little bit, taking away the defensive team's best defender and the offensive team's probably most effective offensive player. Seems like Caulfield scores every time these two teams play each other. But I think it has to be a collective effort. It's not just Shabbat, because Shabbat's never going to be Jake Sanderson. It's on the forwards as well. They have to get up and realize, the importance of this game and rising up to face the Montreal Canadiens. And to be fair, a lot of the time, some of these big players do. I was just looking at some of the stats today. Brady Tkachuk, 30 points in 32 career games against Montreal. Batherson, 29 points in 31 games. Stützle, 24 points in 26 games. It's those bigger forwards we need to step up and show that kind of effort tonight. Because you're not going to be able to just shut this team down defensively, because we see what happens whenever teams take their foot off their gas against the Montreal Canadiens. Is they come back in the third period and they win in overtime. You can't let that happen tonight.
No, they cannot. Like, getting a win, but Montreal still getting a point doesn't do you.
Yeah, it just helps you try to catch Detroit or Boston.
And we've seen a couple of the recent games, like the Vancouver, Seattle, Calgary ones a little bit, where the Senators get ahead, but they kind of do take their foot off the gas a little bit.
Right. You brought up Drake Batherson, and I know that there was a contract, Tanner, that was recently signed that you want to talk about because it alludes to Drake Batherson a little bit.
Yeah, an extension that came down today. So Nick Schmaltz of the Utah Mammoth signed an 8-year, $8 million contract. Another name coming off of the UFA market. It's going to be a super boring July 1st.
Yeah, but you hear that contract and you go, wow, that's a lot.
That is. And just kind of comparing the two stats here, Schmaltz and Batherson have had very similar years. Schmaltz is a center, and he's 3 years older than Drake. So take that how you will. But Batherson's played 60 games. Schmaltz has played 65. Schmaltz has 59 points to Drake's 55. They both have scored 23 and 24 goals, 32 assists to 35. Very comparable stats.
Right.
So if there is a comp that I imagine Batherson's agent or Staios would be looking at, it's probably Schmaltz. So are you comfortable giving Batherson 8 times 8?
3 years older than Drake Batherson and getting 8 years is worrisome when it comes to Batherson, because that to me would be the minimum that he would get. By the way, quick update. No Cole Caulfield on the ice for warmups.
Yeah, I just saw that as well.
Thank you, Z Gibbon, for that. You're actually adding something to the program.
I'm just checking the contract details.
I was just looking at you. I didn't say anything.
I thought you were going to ask me about 8x8.
I am going to ask you. So for Drake Batherson, when you hear that number, what does it make you think initially?
I feel like my perception of what is a reasonable contract is so skewed now with these contracts that are being given out, because 8x8 pays him the same as Brady Tkachuk. Tim Stützle is that 8.25 off the top of my head.
I
don't think
both are making slightly more.
Is it slightly more? I thought maybe I'm wrong. I don't think you can pay anybody more than Tim Stützle on this team.
Agreed.
So you kind of have an internal cap, if you will, of this is what we're willing to play the best or pay the best player on our team, and you take less or you're not on the team.
Yeah, 8.2.
So Stutzla's making 8.35. Brady 8.223.
Yeah. Jake just on a shy over 8.
Linus Hallmark.
Yeah.
Makes more than Brady.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there.
So I guess the problem I have is I still haven't seen where the market is at with how high the salary cap is going to be up next year. So I think you try your best to get him under 8, but then you look what Shane Pinto's making, 7.5. And is he going to be worth it? Hopefully. He would actually be my piece to move out if you're going to improve your wingers. I would move out Shane Pinto because you've got depth at center and spend the money on a really high-end winger.
Do you have a center that can shut other guys down like Shane Pinto?
Maybe. I don't know if you move Greg back to the middle. He's not the same type of center in that he's not as he's not like a big, strong center taking your faceoffs, but he's definitely got the commitment and the wheels to get back and forth down the middle.
Right. And I know this is a discussion about Drake Batherson and not Shane Pinto, but to me, Shane Pinto is absolutely number 2 on this team in the center position, ahead of Dylan Cousins, ahead of Ridley Gregg. So I'm probably not doing that. But for Batherson, would you want him around that area? Because he's going to get that area.
I think if you need to change out the furniture of the team to either elicit a response or just try something new, Batherson's the guy that is likely on the way out. And so could you find somebody comparable in that same contract range and swap something out? Maybe. I don't know if I feel comfortable going above 7.5 for Drake Batherson.
So what about next year, Tanner? He's going to make 4.9 next year. You're allowed to talk to him, of course, come the summer. But to me, Drake Batherson is way more valuable with a 4.9 year left on his contract if you were to trade him, as opposed to letting him play for you for half a year. Maybe you're no good next year. And yes, he's still valuable, but you're not going to get back what you'd get with a full year at 4.9.
Yeah, I think it's something you have to look at in the summer for sure. I don't think the 8 scares me too much because of the direction that the salary cap is going. To me, like an 8 feels like a 6.5 just with where things are heading. And if you were to tell me right now that they'd have to pay him 6.5, I think I'd be fine with that.
And just to be able to give people some perspective here, the cap $95.5 million this year, projected to go up to 104 next year and 113.5 the year after. Well, that's actually happening. And then at 2020, 2029, it's projected to go to 123. So you are looking in 2 years that it's going to go up almost $20 million.
Yeah, that's the part that I can't wrap my brain around yet, and how that domino effect looks, because 123 million by 2028 is crazy.
Well, it's the same shocker that we all got when Kaprizov signed, and I'm sure we're going to get it again when Quinn Hughes signs his ticket probably this summer. Like, somebody's going to be making 20 million before long.
Ethan, not happy with Ben. Ben says, Ben, that's an insane take. I'm moving Cousins over Pinto. Pinto's arguably the second best two-way center on the team. Well, no, Ethan, he's the best two-way center on the team.
How many points does Pinto have? Out of curiosity, because I know he's not. I know nobody has him in my fantasy league because I dropped him. Because
but playing defense isn't fantasy. Right, that's very different.
The problem with Cousins is you're not going to get return on investment with him. Like you have him as not a sunken cost because he's filling in very well for what you had in Norris.
Yeah,
but there's value in Shane Pinto that there isn't in Dylan Cousins. So if you're trying to improve your top six because you need some sort of game breaker, you want somebody who can finish, you're not. Dylan Cousins isn't getting you that. Maybe Shane Pinto can get you that.
Tanner taking my takes from the chat earlier, says Ethan. Ethan's coming at everyone right now.
You can show that one if you want.
But Ben, why do we need to move up the furniture? Ottawa has, and it's showing the average goaltending, and they're playing at an elite level. Why would you make such a major change unless it's to an elite level?
So again, it's more of my comfort level with Drake Batherson making a certain amount, and that he disappears for stretches, and then he's really good for stretches.
Yeah.
So I would rather have some consistency. It's kind of like the Dylan Cousins trade where Josh Norris wasn't around. You would love to have him at his absolute best over Dylan Cousins, but I'd rather have a second line center that is playing 80 games a season and is actually really good on the power play as well. So
I think it would have to be a certain situation because I think it's hard to give up just Drake Batherson and get something better in return. You're going to be attaching picks or prospects there. And I just don't know that this team is in the position to be giving up more future assets when the cupboards are looking so bare right now.
Sorry, say that again. Like you're going to trade Drake Batherson and you're going to have to add something to him
to get something better.
If you're getting something better back, then yeah. Well, who's going to give you a better player for a worse player?
Oh, I think there'd be some teams out there. It's not better or worse. It's a young guy with a really good contract next year that might be able to grow into your team. You would get back an older player probably, but I think there are teams that would give a player that would be as good or better than Drake Batherson right now. It's just not, teams would gamble on the future that he could settle in with some other guys on top lines and next year at 4.9 be a real asset to a good team. I think there would be some teams that would give up some good players. I really do. Eric in saying F and A, three of you, yes, on the pregame. Eric, one person wasn't invited. I'll let you guess who that was.
Was it Friedman who reported that Ottawa was in on Robbie Thomas?
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the thing. If you're in on Robbie Thomas as a centerman, not a winger, who are you moving out?
Yeah, somebody would have to go in that case.
Yeah. Mine would be Dylan Cousins for sure.
Right, but St. Louis isn't doing that trade unless you attach a bunch of pieces.
So you're talking about Dylan Cousins and Drake Batherson?
I don't know, maybe. But I was thinking Shane Pinto is your person. If you're looking to get actual value back, it's not necessarily Batherson. It's not necessarily Cousins. It's Shane Pinto.
I don't agree with that. I think Shane Pinto playing a role, shutting down other teams' top guys is why this team over the last month or two has played so well, because Stützle and Tkachuk and them have bought in, but man, Pinto has had every top guy. And right. Look at where their team is right now.
But $7.5 million for what's he got for points? Under 50?
But you
40,
keep going to
40?
Points.
I know, but you still need to score goals to win. And the problem that this team has is they haven't had elite goal scoring or elite finishing in a long time.
But I don't think that's up to Shane Pinto.
Right, but you could still move a piece.
I'm not moving. That would be like, to me, moving. Oh, I shouldn't say that. He's their best defensive forward. And if this is if this team is going to continue to play really well defensively, they need their best defensive forward. He is that for this team.
But I don't
think
also
I want to mention also like
for a shutdown center. You just don't.
I think you do in the new cap, but maybe. I also just wanted to mention that like you're talking about trading for more offense and like Cousins is coming up a little bit. Like other than Stützle, has he not been their best offensive player in the last stretch?
Sorry, you got pixelated there. Who was their best offensive player?
It might be Cousins in the last stretch. Yeah, this guy keeps scoring. Like, I don't think he's a guy I want to deal away either. Like, if I'm the Sens, I'm pretty content with that center depth of having those three. I mean, sure, you're bringing in Robert Thomas. That's an upgrade on either one, but then you're in kind of the exact same situation you're in now, but even more so because then you're paying two centers $8 million. So somebody's got to move to the wing here somewhere.
Yeah, and look, moving Ridley Gregg to the wing has not turned out very well. He's a natural center. I'd like to see him there at some point to get the best out of him. So, yeah, I don't know that a trade for Robert Thomas is what you
it's just interesting. Like, why?
Sure.
Why are you throwing your hat in that ring?
I agree. I don't know why. I personally wouldn't be.
Well, who's Thomas pretty good friends with?
Yeah, Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah,
but
to me, it feels like Kyrou would probably be the more like logical move for the Sens and what they need right now. So I was a little surprised at that as well. But yeah, you would have to think a center's going out if they're making that trade.
Yeah.
Hey, Ethan, how many points does Barkov put up a year? Just out of
he doesn't have any this year.
You're not reacting to something that's not on the screen, are you? You're not doing that.
I'm a guest, not a permanent host.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to keep it that way.
Ethan, Barkov has a little bit more value than Shane Pinto.
No, flying solo now. Unplugging Lee.
Yeah, not that quick, pal. Just trying to get some of the air into here. That's all.
I take up a lot of air.
If you want my perspective, which I know Lee doesn't. See, I never called out Ethan specifically for not bringing anything to the show, but he's taking it like I was only talking to him. Funny how that is. I would look at moving someone like Greg or Halliday. Young guys, Greg on a great deal would help give enhancement to the wing.
What is their value?
I don't think any.
Yeah.
Like, they're way more valuable to your team.
Yeah.
Greg and Halliday are not getting you Robert Thomas unless the package also includes probably 3 first-round picks.
And by the way, any deal that you're going to make with the St. Louis Blues might have number 7 going the other way anyway. So I'd be careful dealing with the St. Louis Blues at that point, right? But to your guys' point, and Ethan, I do want your perspective, just not once like that. When Greg and Halliday are way more valuable. This is where, and we talked about this before, and look, every team's fan base goes through this. You think your prospects are somehow as good or better than other teams' young players or prospects. And Stephen Halliday is not even an NHL player right now. Like, so a team might take a chance on him and say, like, hey, yeah, like, bring you into camp and see if you can make the team and all that stuff, but you're not getting anything for that guy. And Ridley Gregg has probably underperformed in the last year. He's played better recently, but he's underperformed. He's way more valuable to your team, depending on, like, another guy that you would move out allows Greg to go back to the center position and maybe be more valuable in that spot. I do want to go around, and Tanner, start with you. If the Ottawa Senators lose tonight, how detrimental do you think that it is with not playing again until Saturday and Sunday? There is a very real possibility that if they lose tonight, that they are going to be 7-8 points out of a playoff spot before they play again.
Yeah, it'd be detrimental, of course. It would depend, I guess, on the out-of-town scores and what happens there. I don't think I'd be willing to write them off if they lose tonight, but it'd be pretty close.
What about you, Mr. Soublier?
You need a point tonight and some help before the weekend. So you can lose in overtime.
Okay.
And get some help before Saturday and still be treading water, but you need to bank the points where you can.
Yeah, it just makes every night so hard that you just can ill afford to have 0 points. I mean, because you look Thursday night, the Bruins at home to the Sharks. They've won 13 in a row at home. The Red Wings are in Tampa. The Blue Jackets are in Florida. There's a lot of teams that are playing. The Penguins are out west facing the Vegas Golden Knights, who can't beat a playoff team to save their lives. So I don't know. Like, they don't play again Friday. The Islanders are playing Friday. The Kings are just all over the place. They're playing everybody. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of racetrack ahead of you. If you lose tonight, that there's other teams and the capability of them getting points.
The San Jose is a really big factor here when you think about it. If they could beat Boston and Ottawa beat San Jose, that's a huge swing.
Yes.
Between Thursday and Sunday.
I know we're not there yet, but do we think that Linus Ullmark goes both games on the weekend? 1:00 Saturday, 5:00 on Sunday. And the reason I ask that is because they have 6 back-to-back times before the end of the year. 6, including 2 next week.
If you're going to pull this card, it's the weekend to do it because you might be out of it by Monday morning.
And for me, travel, no travel. Look, it's not ideal, but to me, putting James Reimer in, you put him in against Vancouver, and that's great. Vancouver is awful. Putting him in against other teams that, whether it's Anaheim or San Jose and guys flying around.
Yeah, I don't want Reimer taking shots from Celebrini.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to have to play a game next week, you would think, though, because they got that back-to-back with travel. Washington on the road and then the Islanders at home. So, yeah, I'm fully with Ben there. I think you could absolutely put Allmark in on the back-to-back, especially if they do play a really strong defensive game and he doesn't face too many shots.
Yep.
I think it's
and that's
reasonable.
Been the hallmark, right? To me, this is the most difficult game they're going to face, maybe in the next
probably until Tampa on the 28th. Maybe the Islanders.
The Islanders game is tough because you're playing the night before and there is travel. And the Islanders are going to need those points desperately too. I think that's a reasonably tough game. But man, tonight, Montreal played well. They weren't challenged last night very much. I know the score was close, but man, I watched some of that game. The Leafs are so bad. To be able to kind of go in tonight and beat the Montreal Canadiens when you're coming in off this trip and not a great day of travel yesterday and you've been away for a long time, I think tonight might be the most difficult game in the next week and a half. So,
yeah, I think you need to plan for. Ottawa plays Washington so well, like historically over the past several seasons. You play Reimer in that Washington game, and I think you roll the dice and go back to back with Linus this weekend.
Finally, a take I can get behind, Ben. I agree. At least a point. 2, ideally. Win in regulation, ideal, but right now, win by any means necessary.
I don't want to trade Pinto. I'm just telling you, he's the only thing that has value worth trading.
I think we get back into it. I think Dylan Cousins has value.
I don't think so. I think he's done a good job rebuilding his value, but look what he went for. I don't think that perspective has changed too much.
I mean, he's got a realistic shot at hitting some career highs this season. He's already put up 23 goals, which is his second best year other than 2022-2023, where he scored 31 in 81 games.
And he's scoring lately.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, I think by the numbers, still the best power play player in the league, which is where he gets a bit of slack. People don't think he's great defensively or 5-on-5, but goal's a goal. And lately he's been very effective.
Tim Stützle to 40 goals or Dylan Cousins to 30 goals. Which one happens?
Cousins.
I agree. And I know, I know I asked it, Tanner, because I know that this guy's not going to pick, but he should, because Dylan Cousins getting 7. What's Stützle at? 31?
30.
So he still needs 10.
Yeah, Timmy scores in bunches though. Like he's very once he gets 1, then he gets he goes 5 games scoring.
And he's still been great.
I'll tell you what, Lee.
Tons of chances.
I got a take for you.
Okay.
If Stützle scores 40 goals, they're in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, probably.
How many games they got left? They have 19 games.
Yeah, I was going to say right around 20.
10 goals in 19 games. They're for sure going to make the playoffs.
He's counting on some GWGs.
I'm counting on him to be clutch and put the team on his back a little bit more.
I can get behind. I mean, 10 goals in the last 19 games. If you get scoring from anybody else, you should be in pretty good shape to win a lot of hockey games with the way that they're playing defensively.
Man, I'm telling you, just get Jake a sling. Doesn't even need to use his arm, just use his legs.
He's in a sling.
There's a very real story when Dominic Hasek was hurt and his adductor, for those of us old enough to remember, Dominic Hasek hurt his adductor at the Olympics and he came back and it looked like he was okay, but he didn't feel okay. And there was a meeting where Brian Murray brought him in to the room and said, Dominic, we are begging you to please just stand there. Don't even what you'll give to the team by actually being out there. You don't even have to try. you will go out. We will be like the Sens are now in front of James Reimer. We just won't let anything happen. And Dominic Hasek, look, he would go out and practice. He would do these crazy stretches. Like it was, I went to practice every day when in that year. He was on the ice doing the splits. He's doing all of this stuff. He would get off the ice and he's like, nope, not ready to go. And I don't know, to say it cost them a Stanley Cup, it cost them a very realistic chance of getting and winning a Stanley Cup.
I think the most painful memory about that was not coming back the next year because the team felt scorned, and he offered to come back on like league minimum and to mentor Ray Emery, and the team was scorned too much.
Well, that's
guys. No thanks, Dominic Hasek. We're okay. Yeah. How'd that work out for him?
No thanks.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Okay, so what happens tonight as we near the drop of the puck at the CTC? Tanner.
My prediction going into today was a Cole Caulfield overtime winner, because that seems to happen like clockwork every time these two teams play. I don't love the Sens' chances. There's some juju around that Montreal team that I don't know, but maybe I'm willing to get a little delusional and pick a Sens win.
Okay. This is where you can't come on though and say, well, I knew Montreal was going to win if you're picking Ottawa. You can't do that.
All right, I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to take a Sens overtime win.
Okay. I know Homer McHomerson over here is going to take the Sens, but I'm going to take the Montreal Canadiens to win 4-2 tonight. Maybe an empty net goal. I just don't love. Look, it's still a high-paced offensive team. There's no Jake Sanderson. It's been a tough trip for them. I think they can be okay on the weekend and do some things against Anaheim and San Jose. I just think tonight's a very difficult game. I'm going to say 4-2 Montreal.
The big guys need to be the big guys tonight.
I'm feeling high scoring.
Yep.
Like really high scoring.
Really? Like 8-7 Buffalo Tampa?
Yeah, like 6-4, 7-6, something like that.
Really?
Yeah. So I will say Ottawa wins and over 11 goals in the game.
If Ottawa wins and there's over 11 goals, I'll be very happy coming on. This is overtime.
I was going to say, I didn't say my score, but I'm also feeling high scoring. I was going to say 5-4 overtime.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
The Sens are like good defensively. What are you guys talking about?
When these two teams play, it's usually pretty high scoring, and a lot of the players really get up for this matchup.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Good, like good Hank and bad Hank.
Yeah, I do.
It's like good old Mark and bad old Mark. Like we might get bad old Mark tonight, but hopefully the Sens big guns can make it bad Fowler too. Foul Fowler.
Ethan says Montreal wins 5-4 in a shootout.
Whatever, man.
Z Gibbons says firing on all cylinders on the takes and the predicted scores. Well, Zach, what's yours before we go? Where are you? Zach hit me with can you I'm finally available this week to record. Can you record tonight? I'm like, they're playing tonight, you dope. What do you mean? Here we go. Eric says Habs the highest scoring team in the East.
But also Hole?
Yeah, Eric, come on.
I assume he meant Olay.
But also Olay?
Holy? But are also a hole?
Yeah. This is like Ethan-esque texts that are coming in now.
Maybe
misspelled.
Maybe at Cole. But also hole in Cole.
Okay, don't say oops, fix it. Tell us what it was. We're all hanging on before we go to the drop of the puck at the CTC. But give up the most.
There you go.
All right.
Oh, another interesting thing. Not only is Cole Caulfield not playing, apparently Arbor Jacki was not in the warm-ups.
Well, that's not good for Ottawa. Better chance of Montreal. Like, he sucks. So, like, if he's playing, Ottawa's got a better chance to win.
Yeah, he does have a factor when these two teams match up, though. He's usually
but Ottawa's not going to get
involved.
Ottawa is not going to get.
Fogle will check him, right? I think I've seen him in a couple scraps. Don't expect him to fight Arbor, but if things get heated, I don't mind having another guy.
I'd like to see Warren Fogle play well tonight. Took a bad penalty in the third period the other night that almost cost them, and playing on the fourth line for a second round pick. I'd like him to be a little bit better tonight.
I think we see the swap with Cousins at some point in this game.
Okay. All right. Well, enjoy the game, folks. I can promise you it'll be a spicy. This is overtime. If we get a 7-6 overtime victory. Oh, 6-7. See, there's so much. I didn't get Zach's prediction. Oh, well. Waco's. We're leaving, and we'll be back right after the game. Thank you, Tanner. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll see you after.
Enjoy the game. Thank you, Ben. I think Ethan doesn't thank you, but I thank you. Tanner thanks you.
You just got to elicit a response.
I know. Yeah. Story of my life, pal. We'll see you after the game. This has been your pregame show on OSN.